Hello, everyone. Visokii Entertainment here. The gang is back together. Guys, I totally forgot. Charlie, did you work last night? Is Thursday our official night now?
I didn't work last night, but
See, I totally, last night I was laying in bed and I was like, dude, today was Wednesday. We didn't even do the podcast.
Yeah, I did the same
yeah,
thing.
at the same I don't know. I feel like Thursday works. I feel like I feel like Thursday we have all the wrestling done for the week. I feel like there's still a lot of stuff that happens on Wednesdays.
Well, one, that would ruin our NXT shows because then we'd have to talk about NXT because that's the only reason we don't talk about it on the weekly shows because it doesn't come out until that night. But usually while we're live. But that, and we also have an NXT show. But I mean, we originally did the podcast on back in episodes like 1 to like 20 something or something, whenever we switched the day to Wednesday because schedules changed and stuff at the start of the new school year.
Mm-hmm.
Hey. I have to say, I have not had to change the schedule at all. I always make it work.
There you go. Fact.
But you guys know what my schedule is. I'm a public school teacher. Easy enough to know.
Yeah, you're justifiable in the reason why we do what we do for you. Same for Charlie. Charlie works. I am just in school, and I don't really have to. I mean, my school day is done by 1 o'clock usually. 5 o'clock. By 1 o'clock, so then I can just come home and.
All right, anyway.
Wrestling.
We had a week of wrestling that was pretty up and down in my opinion. You guys would probably agree, but
it's like a Michigan cheerleader. What?
Yeah. So let's just start right off with Raw. So Kurt Angle comes out and has the entire Raw roster on the ramp, and he goes to apologize to all of them, and it's like that's kind of weird that they're all out there. But then we realize why they are all out there. And that's because Stephanie McMahon's going to show up, and the McMahons really want to they think it's funny to have Kurt Angle in the ring while Stephanie McMahon comes and chops the balls off of yet another talent. So that's what she does. She comes out.
Her purse has to be full of them, right?
What?
Her purse has to be full with them at this point, right? That she's taken from everybody.
It's just
Mick Foley's somewhere in there.
Nothing but testicles. She's got like a freezer.
This is going to be a fun one to edit this week. My 2 jokes already I got to cut out.
All right. So Stephanie McMahon basically tells Kurt Angle, blah, blah, blah. I'm angry at you for the invasion last week, the hashtag under siege from SmackDown. She said, if you really claim that you're back, then guess what? You're going to be the captain of Team Raw. So it's obvious that we're getting Kurt Angle and Shane McMahon as the 2 team captains. Are you guys down with this, or you rather them kind of be in the background? I'll throw it to you, Charlie.
Well, I actually didn't know that Shane was the other captain, but I was taking a guess that could have been it. But yeah, I think it works. I mean, if you want to go off storyline, this makes the most sense after the siege to continue a storyline from that. So yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, but if Kurt Angle is going to be the captain, then why'd he back down during the under siege, Garrett?
Right. I see what you're saying, because it would make more sense for him to stand up to everybody in that moment and be like, no, I'm going to fight for my people instead of cowering behind them. And I mean, if you think about it, since he's willing to fight Shane and his team now, he's just was being a dick when he was like, yeah, no, you're all going to have to get beat up before me. I just don't feel like getting it this week. Last night was rough. Nah, that's just not doing it. Like,
yeah. I'd agree. This whole segment was just to be like, oh, Stephanie's back, and she's the same as she's always been, and Kurt's going to be in the match officially, which was kind of spoiled. I mean, we all knew it when Kurt Angle tweeted out saying that he was getting new gear made a couple days before.
What's that about? Yeah.
And it's like, all right, well.
I'm bringing my gold medals. That was so awkward.
Really awkward. This is not Kurt Angle's finest performance.
At the end of the show, remind me to talk about Triple H.
All right, sounds good. We had Bayley versus Nia Jax. So Nia Jax is not she did not walk out. So this is one of about 8 things that Dave Meltzer got wrong this week. I don't know who that guy's got feeding him information, but have you seen the things that he's gotten wrong lately?
So many.
Like, it's really odd because usually he's on top of his game. Usually Meltzer's like the guy that people go to, but he has come out with so many false reports over the past 2 weeks. It's kind of weird.
Do you think they know that he's getting all this information and they're sealing up the patch, and now he's not got anything until he's just making stuff up?
You think they're just trolling it? Maybe they're just
protecting the brand. To them, to Vince McMahon, that would be protecting the brand. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
I mean, think about how much it's lowered when every time whatever Meltzer says happens exactly the way he says it's going to happen, you know?
Right. But anyway, we had Bayley versus Nia Jax. This was a qualifying match for the Raw women's team, right? And,
they didn't say it was, but it ended up being that.
Yeah. So Nia ended up getting the win. So Nia Jax is officially on the Survivor Series team for Raw. We saw this coming, right? It's kind of weird that Bayley's not on the team, is it not?
Yeah, I think she'll end up being on it. But real quick in the chat, we got Jinder. He says, if anyone missed Raw or SDLive, it was AIDS. Good. And then he says to you, Brady, he says, Meltzer is an idiot cuck. Agreed,
Jinder.
So,
oh, man. I guess I'm not going to cut a fan out of the podcast. That's not going to happen.
All right.
Jinder.
So Nia gets the win. It was a decent match. I mean, Bayley's lost her luster, so Nia, 6 months ago, would we have really said, "Oh, Nia's the good call here"?
No.
But now it's like, oh.
Well, she's fresh.
Nia.
I mean, we haven't seen her in a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, something like that. Yeah, I mean.
Do you think it's possible that all these reports were just fabricated backstage? With like Nia and
well, for what it's worth, Nia wasn't there for 2 weeks, so I don't know. I think the Bleacher Report thing was true. Maybe she did take a leave of absence for The Rock.
It's funny you say like all these false reports. Meltzer had it wrong, or Meltzer had it right. He was saying she just took a couple weeks off, which is what it appears to be because they didn't come out and say anything.
But Meltzer said that she talked with The Rock, and The Rock told her to leave if she's unhappy. And
oh no, was Meltzer the one that said that she was using The Rock as leverage or something? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Someone had it right. Someone else had it right.
So.
Right. Though, but yeah, I mean, it's funny because, like people read too much into this stuff. I mean, we as wrestling fans realize that not every time someone goes off TV, it's because their time with the company is in jeopardy.
Yeah, agreed. And I mean, I think it's possible that the Nia Jax stuff is that her the tension between her and Sasha Banks might be fabricated because they're hoping to set something up and put a little bit of realism into it down the road. It's possible that Nia's had this vacation, that 2-week vacation plan for a while, and that they're just like, hey, let's try to create a little story out of it because people are going to wonder where she is.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can see that happening. So. Samoa Joe's back. Got a really nice pop.
That got me so stoked.
Yeah, Charlie was stoked. He was messaging me. What do you think about Samoa Joe's return?
Me or Garrett?
You.
I feel like it's time. They need to get some of their main eventers back. Because Raw was really low with main eventers there for 2 weeks. And Joe's been out since SummerSlam. But I don't know. I think it's a good step for them.
I feel like I was catchy during dinner time, Charlie. I feel like we need to push the podcast back or something.
It happens at times, but no.
It's not uncommon. PKA does it.
His heel promo afterwards felt a little awkward at first, just because everyone was cheering for him.
Yeah,
but the guy's great on the mic, and that's why I think they like him.
I mean, we'll talk about this more when we start talking about Strowman, but. It seems like the people that are organically getting over as baby faces or organically getting over as heels, WWE just tries so hard to make us like or dislike someone, Garrett.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think it even matters at this point. They need to just accept that face and heel don't really matter anymore. I mean, you can have a guy do heelish things or face things, but just for the storylines, that's where we really need it. But that's where it's all going. Eventually, Vince McMahon will realize this and be like, okay. To a point. I mean, he's already sort of brought it in with guys like Neville and Austin Aries, that rely on that style of, well, is he, because Austin Aries, even though he's a face, he was bigger dick than Neville sometimes,
Yeah.
I mean, that's just part of the personality. So it should be the personality of the person, wrestler, whatever, that gets them over, not whether you say they're a face or heel.
Right. Why not people just take control of their own characters and let people who like who they're going to like and hate who they're going to hate and just let it be that? But instead, WWE has this concept of, oh, if you're going to be a babyface, you need to come out and say how much you do everything for the WWE universe, and you have to fight from behind and be the underdog. And if you're a heel, you have to run away from everybody, and you have to every single week.
The good versus evil.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think I like what Roman Reigns is doing because Roman Reigns is a heel sometimes he's a face. You know what I mean? It depends on the feud and how long and whatever. He changes. It's not like obviously he's the good guy in most of his feuds, but sometimes, like in the Undertaker feud, I'd argue he was the heel in that.
100%.
Oh yeah, and we don't have it listed on here, but I feel like we have to talk about it. So
I think I almost.
So Braun Strowman coming back for the Miz was played into the entire show. The Miz was scared to death that Strowman was going to show up, and he had a bunch of people just telling him, "Hey man, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." He tries going to Cesaro and Sheamus at one point to ask for help, and he tries going to Kane for help, and all of them are like, "Dude, no." And then the only people that are willing to help him are Axel and Dallas, and he's like, "Oh,
yeah." Welcome to the show, Jace. We're talking some Raw SmackDown.
He's like a regular.
We'll talk about the Strowman stuff later, but yeah. So Asuka faced a jobber. I can't remember her name. The jobber was kind of cute though.
Stacey Cullen.
Total Brady girl. She got her you know what kicked pretty bad by Asuka.
Absolutely.
Asuka absolutely killed her. This is what most people think Asuka's matches should be. Is this the proper way to do it, Garrett?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, anytime. I mean, not full on squashes like this, I guess. That can do enough moves to supplement Asuka's like overwhelming offense. It works. I mean, I feel like this chick had a little bit of skill to it too. I feel like they didn't hit these particularly good spots, but I feel like she took some of Asuka's moves really well. You know, I half expected her to be one from the Mae Young Classic that I just didn't see though. You know,
there was there was a moment the girl was on like her arms, her hands and knees, right, and Asuka like flipped her foot around and kicked her with the top of her foot down. You know what I mean? And I thought that was just such a cool little spot. I've never seen that.
What's weird for me is that they talk about like how much of a monster Asuka is, but then she's kind of like smiling and like having fun in the ring. It's kind of weird. You can't, I don't know. They're sending mixed signals in my opinion of like, this is the most terrorizing force the women's division has ever seen.
But that's one of the great things about Asuka, and that was always on NXT, is that sometimes she's the monster when she needs to go against an overwhelming force like a heel, or like, because she was always fighting heels for the longest time. But when she flipped heel and she turned on the monster heel stuff, that was good. So I think they're actually doing this the right way. I don't think they've changed much. It just seems weird seeing it start over again.
Yeah. Jinder, this guy's name is Jinder and Juice, by the way, for those listening. He says they can't even sell out arenas for Raw or SDLive. It's horrible, the attendance, because they're doing a lot of stuff wrong. He says they need to get the belt off Jinder, and we will be talking about that when we go to SmackDown Live.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah, things could get interesting. Daniel Bryan showed up on Raw, and this was some really bad acting. Raw was on Halloween, SmackDown was Halloween, but Raw was Halloween themed as well. So. Yeah. They had little stupid Halloween. So we knew Kane was going to do something stupid because he's basically the closest thing to a Halloween character that we have. Daniel Bryan came to apologize to Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle did this. This popped me, not going to lie. So all of a sudden, it's Kurt Angle. It pans to Kurt Angle. And he's got this big-ass walkie-talkie holding it. And he starts screaming into it, veins popping out of his head. They're here! They're here! Happening.
I'm there with you. I was like, what the hell's happening? And then it just pans over and you got little Daniel Bryan standing there.
Daniel Bryan just standing there like, no.
Jinder's alert. Yeah.
alert.
I was like, what is happening?
So Daniel Bryan shows up and he's like, hey, man, sorry. And I liked how they cut to commercials during Raw, by the way. They left a lot of like cliffhangers to make you hopefully stay because Kurt Angle, the first time that I saw it, Kurt Angle was like, he was doing the alert, they're here. And it pans to Daniel Bryan and Kurt Angle goes, what are you doing here? And then it cuts to commercial. Then they come back like they've been talking for, the last 5 minutes. And Daniel Bryan's like, yeah, so, I didn't agree with what Shane did. My bad. And Kurt Angle's like, hey, sorry, not sorry. I'm still going to destroy SmackDown. And then Daniel Bryan gets left alone, and Kane chokeslams him. Here is the real question, Garrett. Did Daniel Bryan bump?
Yeah, me and my mom kind of went back and forth on this. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say there was someone behind him, and they just lifted him up. He did a little hop or something.
Charlie, it was just them and the cameraman, dude. Do you think they just said screw it?
Daniel Bryan he's a crazy man. He took it. He said the fans got their wish. It was in the dark, so he couldn't see it, but he took the bump. I think that was a little.
If he did, that means they're going to let him wrestle because they wouldn't let him take any bumps if he wasn't going to be able to take any bumps.
They let him take dark.
He told the WWE that he didn't bump, but did he actually just bump? It was in the dark, so.
Speaking of this, no Brock tonight, huh?
I mean, obviously him and Kane would have been friends, so.
No Barack. Barack.
My God.
All right.
Speaking of Brock Osweiler is going to start.
Oh, God, let's not even talk about it. Oh, by the way, congrats to the Astros.
Oh, yeah.
Good World Series. And Los Angeles didn't win, which is good.
Kind of going off what you were just saying, Brady. Jinder says something he liked from Raw was the pacing of it and how it moved from each thing pretty quickly. And
agreed.
It
felt more like a TV show than it has in a while, rather than a bunch of YouTube segments stuck one after each other.
Well, it never really felt like that. It felt more like a soap opera for a long time because it was these long, drawn-out one-shots of one thing to another, and then they cut, and then they come back in another long one-shot segment. I mean, you know what I mean?
Speaking of long ones, Cesaro had a match against Finn Balor, and this could have been seen as a dream match. Really, no pop for that. I thought that was a good joke, but it's okay.
It was good.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support. All right, so Cesaro and Finn Balor had a match. Balor got the win. Obviously, it was obvious he was going to get the win. But was this a qualifying match?
Mm-mm.
Okay. For some reason, I was thinking it was. What were the stakes? Did they even have stakes?
No, it's just a match.
Yeah.
Why not? If you're going to throw two random
sell a
matches
show,
out there, I'll take these two.
Exactly.
It was a sell the show type match. I'm going to get to see these two good in ring performers fight.
The only thing I remember vividly from this match was Cesaro and Sheamus. Finn Balor did his tope suicina over the top, and that was Cesaro and Sheamus did a beautiful job of catching Finn Balor and making it look cool.
True.
They took care of him really well, and I was like, you know what? That was really cool.
And they did it, and they still fell. That's the way you do it. Is while you're falling, maintain those fundamentals and bring them down the right way. Because
bunch of veterans doing it right,
Exactly. Agreed. So anything else? Oh.
You landed.
All right. See you later, Garrett.
Sorry.
You back?
I was saying. It was good because he lands and hits right in Cesaro's chest. So he takes all the force in his chest. And so when they're falling, it means that he slows down enough that, he pushes them forward a little bit more. But with Sheamus there as the assist, you know what I mean? They can guide down really well. And it just looked like he was trying to save Cesaro. And then he just took the hit. And it was good. I love it. It's subtle stuff like that makes a wrestling match really good.
Agreed. It was a solid match. The first hour of Raw was honestly pretty good. And then to kick off the second half of Raw, we had Seth Rollins against Kane. Break it down for us, Charlie.
We missed Matt Hardy versus The Miz.
Oh. Did I not put that on here?
Matt Hardy got an IC title.
Best Matt Hardy match, I think. Solos, he's been back.
I'll be honest. I didn't pay any attention to it. I didn't care.
Yeah, that was another thing. I didn't put stuff on here that I was also distracted during that match. I forget what I was doing, but stuff was going on.
But it was good, Charlie.
Yeah, Matt Hardy's best.
It was good. It was a good match. I remember seeing the spots and thinking, that's pretty good. But
then follow
yeah,
through.
we knew it was going to happen.
So Charlie, break it down.
It was just he had a moonsault at the end that was pretty fun, but other than that, just pretty. It was a good Raw match. Best way to describe it.
Just a good little way to fill time, but not feel like a time filler kind of deal.
Yeah,
because it was for the title, right?
Yep. So
Yeah,
I mean,
it was title match.
What if?
Right.
Ginger says, "I wish the Shield stuff is over. They would turn Seth heel again. He's much better as a heel than a face. What do you think of that?"
I think that his move set.
I didn't feel like there was.
Go ahead, Garrett.
Yeah, I was saying. I never felt like there was the what if while watching. I was like, "There's no way Matt Hardy wins this title. There's no way. What would they do? What would it would be? It would be that that he got screwed out of the title. Then, right? That would be the storyline they'd have to go through. With is Kurt Angle gave me this match when I wasn't prepared, and we've already had that storyline like 15 times this year. So let's not do that.
Yeah.
Right. So going back to Jinder's point, I think Rollins, his move set is better suited for a face. Yes, he's better as a heel personality, but he's so good at being a heel that he starts to become a face anyway. So
I'd agree.
Better off as like the more rough around the edges face, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I would say he was probably the most over champion of the combined titles, other than maybe Daniel Bryan. I mean, for sure, as a heel. So you know.
So speaking of Rollins, he faced Kane, and Kane beat him clean. Charlie, how do you like that?
I knew it was going to happen, so I didn't watch the match. I knew as soon as they were thrown together, I'm like, 2 years ago, Seth's beating this guy like it's no problem when he's world champ, and now we got 50-year-old Kane coming back, squashing him and Balor. Was not
also Kane can come back and just beat one half of the Shield tag team champions. I mean, what?
I really don't like how they're shoving Kane down our throats.
Tinder says, why are they having old ass Kane bury all the young great talent?
It's very. I mean, we know why. It's for Braun Strowman, and Braun Strowman didn't need Big Show to go beating everyone for it to feel credible, you know. But apparently for Kane, they need him to just beat the hell out of everyone. I'm really not a fan of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm okay with it. I mean, Kane is a much larger person than Seth. So I'm all right with it. As long as he has a competitive match against Braun. If he gets completely crushed by Braun, it's like, eh. But I think they're going to have a lengthy match. You know what I mean? It would have made – if they planned on having Kane and Braun Strowman have a competitive match, and that was their plan the entire time, you have to build Kane up a little bit, or else it's going to be like, really? Kane walked off the street? The guy that was just running for congressman or whatever, the mayor. It's like this guy's just going to walk off the street and then have a competitive match against one of our guys. You'd see all the same stuff where people are complaining about Emma having a competitive match. So,
but those people were wrong because Emma has always been good in the ring. And I will say this, I think that match is going to be good. I think that Glenn Jacobs' moveset is good enough to with mixed with Braun's barely. I mean, and it's fair to say that Braun doesn't really. I mean, his moves are throwing you around the ring, and then some assorted basic wrestling moves, which is fine because seeing a guy that size do a wrestling move is just insane.
It makes that, and he his wrestling moves very, very clean.
Oh yeah, what he does, and I think that's because he doesn't want to hurt anybody. I mean, if you listen to the guy interview, he talks about like making sure he knew what he was doing before he got in the ring with smaller guys. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, gender's there with me. Just, I mean, I don't know. There's many ways you can do it, but let's see where it goes.
Yeah. So we had a trick or treat fight.
Perhaps the low point of the show.
God awful. This is the low point of my month. It was. I missed the first. I missed the first like half of the match. I just happened to. I was like flipping between this and Monday Night Football. All of a sudden, I flip back and I see Gallows and Anderson. I remember my initial thought was like Gallows had like a pumpkin on his head, and I was like, wow, they have gone downhill. And I messaged Charlie. I said, dude, this is embarrassing.
Do you remember when we reviewed this match last year? Literally, last Halloween episode, there was a trick or treat fight, and Gallows and Anderson were involved in it.
I think it was good last year, though. I mean,
it was better.
This is either the second.
It took itself way less seriously than this. This felt like they were trying to make it an actual match. If you're gonna have a comedy match, make it comedic. Don't make them like the kendo sticks are just stupid. Like 30 kendo stick shots, stiff as hell, in a match that's supposed to be fun for the kids. I mean,
and the only part that I really liked, Charlie, was when Rhino no-sold the styrofoam tombstone to the head.
That probably hurt. Because styrofoam don't break like breakable stuff. Like it's not the same material.
Yeah, this is either the second or third time they've tried bringing these Southpaw characters to life, and it just they've never been. I would have thought they would have got some cheers, but they just don't.
Well, you know what the problem is? They don't bring out Chet Cheddarfield and what Fandango's character. I mean, you know, so if they brought out the announcers, maybe people will get more into it. It's like a YouTube only thing, though. So,
by the way, you guys want to go on Chris Jericho's cruise? I think I got my mom convinced to go on it.
Dude, if you have 4 people, it is not bad.
It's a wrestling cruise, dude.
It's $500 base, and then you got to.
Have you seen some of the people booked for it, dude?
You can get it probably one per. If you get 4 people after port fees, taxes, tips, and alcohol and everything, you can probably get out of there for about $900.
Yeah,
that's not bad for.
Get to see Kenny Omega wrestle Chris Jericho. I'm telling you, that's going to be the big one of it all.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be fun. It's a year from now, and you can do payment plans. I'm thinking about it.
It would be fun, but like, let's be real. If the wrestling sucks, it's going to be a really bad experience.
They got the Young Bucks on there and Omega. I don't think it'll suck.
Bucks fan says, I want to see Gallows make a return as Festus. I'm down. I liked the Festus character. He made me laugh.
Ding, ding, ding.
Your last comment. I'd agree with you, bro.
I need to look at that.
Yeah, agreed, Jinder. All right. More Elias versus JJ stuff. Yeah, Elias is getting more and more people every week when he asks who wants to walk with Elias. He got a pop. He's kind of surprised. You saw him literally like get surprised. Who wants to walk with Elias? Yeah. And
I still think, yeah.
He was like,
I really think they should just go full-fledged with him and throw him on the Raw team. Why not?
Jinder.
You know? He's over.
They'll throw Jason Jordan on the team for him.
I know, and that right there is the stuff that just really, you know.
It irks you.
Wonder. What about Jinder and Bucks? If you guys are in the mood to type, do you think Elias would make a good participant of the Raw 5-on-5 team? Because right now we got Kurt Angle and Strowman, I believe, right? And that's it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. That's all you need. Kurt Angle and Strowman will face all 5.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real for a second, though. These teams are probably going to be weaker than what we're thinking because the women's team will be fine. Yeah, all the champions are yanked.
The SmackDown people are going to be the people that were in the Under Siege, so we'll get Shinsuke and Dolph.
Well, SmackDown's team's already there, isn't it? Orton,
I didn't catch any of SmackDown. I had to work late.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, it's Orton, Rude, Shinsuke, and Shane McMahon right now. So they only need one more.
Oh, okay. That's right. Yeah, we have Rude. So anyway, that was what it was. We had Drew Gulak versus Kalisto. Kalisto beat him pretty quick, but Gulak is funny. I think Vince McMahon personally likes Drew Gulak for some reason.
And Vince, good job. This guy is awesome. He's fun.
He is fun. I like Gulak. I thought Gulak was cool back when he first came out. I mean, I think the guy needs like more of just the anti-cruiserweight gimmick. I mean, it's fine, but eventually that's going to get old, you know? Like, give him something a little more other than just he's a dicky cruiserweight that's not a cruiserweight, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it's funny that Enzo is like the only guy that fits the mold that Gulak likes. Enzo's the only person that follows the rules of the PowerPoint.
It's true. Real quick, I want to go what I was just talking about. Jinder said a lot of people like Elias. Yeah, he would. Buck says Elias is funny, but not as good, but does not have good matches. And that I'm going to agree with you. There's never truly been an Elias match I've enjoyed, other than when he smashed Jason Jordan with the guitar like in his back. That was pretty cool.
I disagree. I think his jobber matches were really good. He does a really good job at crushing people.
That's fair, but I've never seen him have a great, you know. sucker you in feud. That's what it is. He's never had a good feud yet. Maybe this is a good way to start it. But
what feuds has he had?
Jason Jordan is it.
Jason Jordan, Kalisto, Dean Ambrose, kind of. It wasn't real though. That was when he first got started.
Yeah, he was just like Miz's henchman.
Yeah, so I mean, Kalisto and Jason Jordan have been his feuds.
Yeah, see, he hasn't faced anyone with personality yet. That's his issue.
Wait, no, Apollo Crews, but again, no personality.
No personality.
But those are his feuds, those three guys.
But yeah, so Gulak, I mean, the highlight, the match wasn't anything special. Gulak went to go do the soft chant and spelled it correctly. Enzo did not like that.
That's good stuff.
He's like SOFT. And Enzo was like, don't ever do that again. But it was good. And then we had a women's championship match. Raise your hand if you thought that the title was changing hands here.
I'll be honest, 100%.
Me too.
I was shocked.
Alexa ends up retaining over Mickie James. But I thought for sure they were going to give it to Mickie James. I was like, dude, they're keeping her on TV. It was one of those, well, what would be the point of doing this match if Mickie James didn't win? And I think that's where they suckered me in. It's like, well, the only reason for this match to be a title match is for Mickie James to win.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Garrett, why did you think Alexa was retaining?
Thought that this was going to be the extender, the thing that keeps the feud going, because you could argue that the title always does that, but I don't think it does. I think sometimes when someone wins the title, I think in this situation you would have had to stop the feud because, you know, what would be the point of saying, oh, I'd rather have certain people representing this brand if you're not going to hold that true with Alexa too? So, you know, it would make Kurt Angle look really weird if they had the switch here, because he would have essentially he would have almost screwed one person out of a title and then screwed somebody out of a title by having a defense on the night. Because it was last week, I think, was when this was because of the same reasons, basically, was why this was set up. So it would make it, I mean, it makes more sense for them to be able, because otherwise, well, what is the point of him even saying that if he just gets what he wants immediately, you know? Like it would convolute that part of the storyline, which they wouldn't be obliged to doing. But
what makes me think they're not touching this feud again is, did you see how she finished her?
It looked solid. It looked like a straight forearm to the dome.
I know, but on one aspect, she hit her. If you think of it on paper, she beat her with a punch.
Yeah, Big Show does it all the time. MMA happens all the time. Let me come punch you in the face.
Is 7 foot, like whatever, and Alexa's 5 foot. Like, yeah, I don't know.
I don't care, bro. You land a solid punch in real life on anyone. If you're a good puncher, I think you can knock someone out. And you got to think about it. If this ends up how if she starts finishing people with this, like out of nowhere, then, you know, someone has to be the first person to lose to it, right?
Yeah.
So maybe this is just a start. Let's see where they go with it.
We still need one person to lose that blue thunder bomb.
Yeah,
and we're good.
Ginger says they should have showed a close-up of Alexa's you-know-what the entire match. I would have enjoyed that much more than the match itself.
Hey, there should be more finishes in matches that are like punches and kicks, because Asuka finishes with kicks, and she also finishes with like strikes sometimes with her like blitz type move. You know, that's like her version of the phenomenal blitz or whatever. You know, It's obviously probably hers first or whatever, but you know what I mean? That blitz attack.
They want the crowd to talk about Alexa's butt. That's why they keep trying to do this biscuit butt stuff.
Oh, I know. So,
I mean, it's what they want. But Jason, all right, I agree with that. Last thing on Raw, Jason Jordan. Jinder says he has no charisma at all, and I personally feel like they really just dropped the ball so hard with him to a point where it's going to result in him leaving the company. Like, he's going to be one of those releases that happens. I'm not saying like tomorrow. I'm probably saying within a year, maybe 2. When it happens, it's going to be like, wow. Everyone's going to say wasted potential. I think they dropped the ball so hard with him doing that weird storyline and taking him out of a tag team.
I think they need to push him so hard as a babyface and so obvious, make him such an obvious company guy that he eventually snaps and turns on the fans and becomes a massive heel. because naturally, it's kind of like with Gable and Benjamin too. It's like they're natural heels, dude. Don't tell me they're not. And so with Jordan, the same thing. He should just be so smiley and so happy and so 80s over the top white meat baby face that people that people just turn on him because they hate him for being so cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Do you think they'd ever do like a reform of Team Angle with like Jason Jordan and then Benjamin and Gable being like a 3-man stable or something?
Dude, I'm not saying I mean I would love to see if Jason Jordan had to pick one tag team partner. I still feel it's the guy that had. I'm trying to think of what to phrase this. Apollo Crews, if he, that's the guy I always think should have been thrown in a tag team with someone good. I thought Ziggler at first. I thought if maybe you tried something weird, who knows? There's been weirder pairings, right?
Sheamus and Cesaro, dude.
That's a weird. Yeah, and look at how well they're doing. They just got a new Titantron also. But I don't know, man. I don't know where they go with Jordan from here. I like your idea though, Brady. So if they do that, I'm in.
So last thing on Raw, Braun Strowman indeed does show up. He is birthed from garbage, runs after The Miz and Dallas and Axel, which, good to see Bo back. The week Bo gets back, he gets tossed about 30 feet down the ramp. And Strowman comes in. He officially is a face now, which we already knew, but this confirmed it. Strowman goes into the middle of the ring, hits a running power slam on Curtis Axel. He realizes that they're not going off air for about another minute and a half, so he picks him back up, hits another running power slam. The crowd chants one more time, so he picks him up, hits him with another running power slam. Then the crowd chants, "We want tables," so he picks up Axel, carries him up the ramp, and hits him with a power slam through the table.
That is awesome. I did not see this end part yet.
Oh, really?
I saw him bursting out of the trash thing, and that's about it.
Oh, it was too funny, man.
I'll check that out for sure.
So, Garrett, what are the odds that they ruin it and Braun Strowman comes out next week and he says, "I realize the only way for me to succeed in this company is to get behind all you people. I do this for you."
100%.
I swear to God.
100%.
No!
and then he's gonna hold on, and then he's gonna have a match against Elias and have to fight from underneath and get a comeback victory.
No, one better. He's gonna do that with Kurt Hawkins.
There's no way.
I make superstars. I want to be a superstar.
Hey, man,
Ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to be in the WWE.
Ever since I was in North Carolina.
This is for you.
He needs to just stay what he's saying.
Exactly. But WWE will not do that. They're not going to let it happen.
Yeah. Chinder says Braun came out of the trash with no trash on him. That is, hey, man.
There is that.
Hey, man.
That would have been funny if they had a fake banana peel like stuck to
just on his shoulder.
Oh my God, that would have been awesome. I saw some. There was a podcast. They were very, very upset of the idea of Braun living in them trying to sell Braun living in a garbage truck for 2 weeks.
Well, it was
I personally don't care about that.
It was a different garbage truck. Okay, I like on the Fightful podcast, Alex Pulowski said he likes the idea that Braun Strowman has now become a garbage monster. So wherever there is garbage, he can spawn. Braun Strowman is not alive. He spawns from garbage. So now you're going to have backstage segments where The Miz is running away from garbage cans thinking that Braun Strowman is going to spawn from it.
If they do that,
pops up out of one week.
So what? They're going to have a dumpster match for the title? That's
Yes.
a Mania match?
I think it would be great.
They just have a big trash can out there by ringside?
So, hold on. What if this is me getting my hopes up, but what if the Bludgeon Brothers are a complete bust and then Strowman ends up being their leader?
I hate the idea of even touching these Wyatts back together again, but hey, they need some kind of leader, right?
Exactly. So, Grades
Hey,
for
Wyatt
Raw.
boys, I'm not finished with you.
Absolutely.
Um,
You know what? The first 2 hours, A plus. Second 2 hours, F. And the second hour, or the third hour, I should say. Jeez, all over the place. F. And then that finale, I liked it, but I mean, I guess they average out to a C plus. I'll give it.
Garrett,
I'll go with a C.
I'm giving it an F. All right, moving on to SmackDown. Shane McMahon came out and basically
I agree.
weird because he's a face. He basically said he came out and said the witch is back. So it's obvious that we're going McMahon against McMahon feud. We've never seen this ever in the history of ever.
It's almost as if this was the feud at the last Survivor Series.
And Shane McMahon claims that he took a vote among the locker room and that the locker room decided to attack Raw. It was not his doing. Do you believe that, Charlie? The Shinsuke can't speak English. How did he vote to attack Raw?
Because he's tired of being called an artist, so he's pissed off, and he wants to go over there and show McMahon what's up. Hey, man.
Then he realized it was Stephanie, and he wouldn't be able to beat him up.
Gives Raw a 3 out of 10, so he agrees with me. It's an F.
I think we might all agree with you. The Miz is the best thing on Raw. The Miz he's so good.
And The Miz had a really cool, did you guys, I think it was Facebook Live or Instagram. I saw a video where he was talking about, he was like, you know what?
I didn't see this.
He realizes that his best spot right now is just him being IC champ. That is his spot. And he just takes so much pride in being the Intercontinental Champion and making the title mean more, which is great because you don't see that.
That's very true.
So,
that being said, I don't want him to stay champ for like infinity, though. He needs to get more title wins eventually. Otherwise, he's never going to pass that record.
I think he needs to lose it to Kane next week.
Stop it, Brady.
Don't speak it into existence.
Because when you say these things, they happen.
Kane comes out and beats him and the Miztourage.
Dude, I will rate. Dude, the rage.
He stacks them all on top of each other and pins them. Becomes the champion. But then Braun Strowman can be champion. Imagine how tiny the Intercontinental title would look around Strowman.
It'd actually be pretty funny looking.
What, Charlie? Would you buy what if Kane and Strowman have a? Since they're both face now, right? What if because people still like Kane. What if they have a mutual respect and they do it for the fans and become a tag team and win the title?
Strowman and Kane.
I don't know, man. I think at that point I'd consider stop watching Raw and be SmackDown only for a month.
So your team SmackDown. You're rooting for Shane McMahon because Shane McMahon seems to think that they're SmackDown fans.
I mean, SmackDown's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Bobby Roode faced Dolph Ziggler in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Bobby Roode ends up getting the win. Was this the right call, Garrett?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, Bobby Roode needs to continue to look strong if you're going to have him as a face, because that's every face. They need to continue to look strong. Heels are the ones that can get away with not winning because, they try and cheat and then the babyface gets mad or whatever. But
yeah, but that's Bobby Roode's shtick too, is that he cheats. True,
it is. I mean, the funny thing is, I think he was intended to be a heel, but the pop was so huge that they were like, well, let's not even turn him. Whatever. Because, his actions would suggest otherwise. But yeah, I mean, as long as in the long run they don't try and draw this out too much, I think this will mean more. Otherwise, they're only going to remember the next couple of matches. So, also, I thought this match was well put together. Most 2 out of 3 false matches are just by structure because of the way they're set up. But I liked it.
I really wish that we'd have a 2 out of 3 falls match where it would just be a squash and then another squash. Like the guy just wins both falls in like 5 minutes.
But that can only happen once because then after that it loses its like, oh, that was awesome effect,
That's true. You got to save it for a special time.
Make it start Strowman in a 2 out of 3 falls match, dude. There you go.
So the real thing is, there was an interview with Eric Bischoff in which Eric Bischoff said the 2 guys from WWE that he would build an entire company around right now if he's starting up a new company were Braun Strowman and Dolph Ziggler. Did you see that in this match, Charlie?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'd start a company around him.
Okay, let's be real about Ziggler for a second. I don't
Yeah.
mean to interrupt you. I'll let you continue in a second. Let's be real about Ziggler for a second. There is nothing spectacularly phenomenal out of his in-ring work. His selling, which I guess counts as in-ring work, his selling, nothing about his offense is particularly amazing. It's standard. It's his selling that gets him over so much because he sells moves like he got hit by a truck.
I mean, you're not wrong.
And I'm not saying that he's not good. God, the guy's been improving ever since he started, but you can tell he just falls back on his amateur wrestling a lot. I feel like when he forgets spots, you know? Because how many different guys on the roster do a German suplex?
Everyone.
Literally, it's a standard move. It's like the DDT, you know? So, you know, but continue, Charlie.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you in that sense. Jinder brings up an interesting point. He says they're already rooting Bobby Roode, in my opinion. And, you know, I can see why a lot of people feel like that because this has been a very, very rough first feud for the man. Ziggler's whole thing of not wanting an entrance, I don't know. Ziggler's had great feuds with The Miz a year ago today, to be exact, was probably the feud of 2016. But I don't know, man. They're off to a rough start with Roode. And maybe getting him on the Survivor Series team makes him seem more legit, which is what the point of this match was. So,
I think they should have given Bobby Roode's entrance to James Ellsworth.
fair point.
The women are all grouped together in the same segment once again.
Are we shocked?
Yeah, no shocker there. They all want to be part of the SmackDown Women's thing. We didn't talk about Raw with Alicia Fox, by the way. She's doing great stuff. We don't need to talk about it anywhere in that, but Alicia Fox doing a good job.
True.
All the women were backstage for a SmackDown segment. They all want to be part of the team. Garrett?
I just put it on here because it was the only women's segment on the show.
Yeah, there was not much purpose to it.
Just so that the women are still there, you know, and it's okay to do this some weeks. Like if you really don't have anything, if you have too much going on to have the women, I get that can happen. I'm sure someone's going to get offended about it.
If it's your job and you have 6 days to come up with 30 minutes of what you have like 7 women and 30 minutes of time between all of them, and you have 6 days to plan for it. You can't come up with one thing.
I would like to point out that WWE production schedule is not like other production schedules because you're right, they have a week, but they're traveling in that time too to different events. They don't take off until just the weekends, I don't think. And then even then,
act like they don't think. I'm still thinking about lesson plans.
I'm thinking, okay, but like as a guy working in production and stuff right now in school, production on a day where you have all the time in the world can still go completely wrong to a point where you don't have time to do what you thought you were going to have to do, so you have to cobble together what you can.
I just think if you're a professional,
especially in live broadcast, like I was up at an actual I was at Cox Media today, and I went up and saw on the fly things change all the time up there. I mean, I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I'm not saying it excuses it. I'm just saying we should maybe not just blanketly say, well, you should be able to come up with this. Well, me knowing, I don't know if I would be able to, especially in the time frame that they get, you know?
Well, you're a student, and these people have been doing it for years and years and years.
They put the women on the back burner for SmackDown.
I'm sorry. I'm a professional musician. If someone asked me to write a song in 30 minutes, I could do it right now. If you're a professional producer for WWE, a professional writer for a company, and you're on a writing team, they have like 20 writers, and they can't come up with 30 minutes between all of them in 6 days. I'm sorry. South Park is written in a week.
And that's a good show.
Beethoven wrote an entire symphony in 2 days.
Well, South Park is also stringed together with a narrative now, though. But still.
Well,
but admittedly, back when
the new season doesn't have the overhang.
They went back to the non-serial. Okay, fair enough. Makes sense. They're smart guys. They know what they're doing.
Baron Corbin faced Sin Cara. This is your favorite feud, Charlie.
Yeah, it's the Jinder thing, man. They pulled Sin Cara out of the woods. Who knows where he's been? He's been at home for 6 months. And now he's going to get a title shot and probably win it. And then, face Miz at Survivor Series? When, personally, Baron Corbin versus Miz would be my favorite match on the show, but I don't know.
I don't know, bro.
Fans behind him, somehow. I'm not sure how, but
Did the crowd actually care about Sin Cara?
yeah,
No.
they were chanting "Lucha, Lucha," his chant.
They don't actually care though.
No, they don't.
They just like the chant, bro.
Exactly.
Yep.
Garrett, would you be sad at a Sin Cara Miz match?
Yes, I would be extremely sad because why?
There's so many people that could get that spot, but Sin Cara's been there for years, and you just signed a new contract, so why not?
How about this? I'll be as equally unhappy as I have been for the last 2 weeks with these Singh brothers versus AJ Styles matches when AJ could have been having better matches.
Yeah, whatever, bro. I thought AJ could pull out a good match out of anyone. Apparently, we're wrong. He's not as good.
Apparently, the Singh brothers have literally no moves because they have to have moves to be able to match AJ.
Samir Singh faced AJ Styles, and yeah, it happened. Who won? Singh?
Happened.
I think Samir Singh won, right?
Yeah, squashed him.
He came out, hit him with a forearm. That was it.
Phenomenal one. It was amazing.
It was, yeah. He's the amazing Samir Singh. So it was amazing versus phenomenal.
Gosh.
Charlie, do you remember the guy named Justin Credible?
Oh, I remember that guy.
I do not actually. I've heard the name though.
Yep.
Best pun in the world.
Almost as bad of a name as 3 Count.
God.
Jin has been saying he says they don't like what they've done with Charlotte, which I mean, yeah, they've, like I said, they've thrown the women on the back burner. That's my state on it all. And he can't stand Sin Cara or Baron Corbin. I personally love Corbin. I can see why a lot of people don't like him too much though.
He's got too many tattoos, bro.
The sing along brothers are cringe.
Whoa,
I like
what about
that name
CM
for him.
Punk, bro?
Yeah, I don't like Punk either.
Wow.
He sucks. Yeah, if CM Punk was actually good at wrestling, he'd still be in WWE.
Oh my
Gosh darn it.
god.
Rusev Day was on Tuesday night. We didn't even know that it was Rusev Day.
Comes out of nowhere, it seems like.
He faced Big E, and Big E won, right? I think
No,
I
Rusev
don't
won.
remember.
Rusev won. I don't know. I didn't even.
Distraction. It was a distraction for Made in English.
Oh, you're right.
Rusev's awesome.
Rusev is good. Elated Rusev. I love how a couple weeks ago he didn't know what the word elated means, and then he said it like 3 times.
That is pretty good.
It's the running joke. Rusev learned a new word, and now he has to say it over and over again.
I think
You know
that's
those
just
type
him
of
having
people?
fun with the.
You know those type of people where like they learn something new, and then they have to tell you 60 million times, like how they know something.
Mm-hmm. You got Rusev?
That's Rusev, dude.
Hey, so you know about this? I learned about radio stations now. Okay.
Stranger Things as
Stranger
as
Things.
Files. I was pretty mad we had to do this podcast. I'm halfway through episode 3 of the Stranger Things 2.
I still
Go back
haven't
and
seen
watch
it.
it after this.
Still haven't seen it.
It's too good, man. I didn't watch this. I heard complaints that it wasn't even that good. Is like our Breezango, are they about done?
They might be they could be trying to kill off the fashion files slowly. Because it's so much more over than the other segments like this that they have, like the shows in the ring or whatever.
Charlie?
I don't know. I think this is still, as we've kind of seen the writing team, it's not the greatest thing ever right now, especially on SmackDown. Look what they've done to the company, and we can talk about it another day. But they give these guys the freedom. They're probably like, all right, you got 98 seconds. Go ahead. You got 142 seconds this time, so let's see what you can come up with. And I think if this is all Breezango and the Ascension, and if they want to bring people in, they bring them in.
I mean, and here's the thing too, that they wouldn't have any problem doing that, most wrestlers, because when you're on an indie show and you have to cut a promo before your match, guess what? You don't have scripting, because guess what? That promotion probably doesn't have the money to afford writers that can just sit down and write for you like the WWE can. You got to come up with your own stuff. And granted, they can't do it now because for years they brought in talent in the era where they didn't have NXT, and they put them in this system of you're going to be written for, everything you say is going to be scripted. So they know how to do promos, but they don't know how to just go out there and do it now because they've been so indoctrinated into the system.
Jinder says Breezango needs to start wrestling again. I agree.
I'd agree too.
Then we had Kevin Owens versus Shinsuke Nakamura in a qualifying match. We knew which way this was going to go because Sami Zayn lost his qualifying match last week. Shinsuke beats Owens this week. The real question is, what are Owens and Zayn doing at Survivor Series? Do we know?
Interfering in the match.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say.
They're going to come out and screw SmackDown.
Yep.
Leading to a Sami and Shane match.
Which I think that match will be good.
They'll do something.
It could be like a handicap match. It could be like I'm taking on you both. That would be a good match.
What if Roman comes out and interferes and turns heel on all of Raw? We think that it's going to be Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn costing him, but then Roman comes out salty because they moved on without him.
That'd be a big swerve that I think would get over.
Well, the Shield would be dead.
Well, that's true. Unless the whole Shield goes, you know what, Roman? You're right. And the Shield just...
Would you buy heel Shield? I mean, they weren't really anything before. They were just sort of guys that come out and beat people up.
But then what if they had T-shirts that said Shield, but it was like SHIEELD?
Yeah, that would be good. It would be funny. It would sell. I don't know if people would get it that aren't insiders, though.
They could make a TV show instead of Punk. It would be Shield.
True. Junior brings up a good point here. He's talking about, while we're on the concept of tag teams, how the Usos have just become insane on the mic. The Usos have done such a good job of changing their game and stepping up into their new characters, and just they're great wrestlers. So they do fine there, but the new characters I think they're doing really well. It's why they're the champs again.
Agreed. So SmackDown grades, I'm giving it an F. Charlie?
Wait, why an F?
Because I don't like it. I gave Raw an F too. SmackDown gets an F. Charlie, what's your grade?
I give it an F.
Garrett?
I'm gonna give it an F plus.
There you go.
Garrett's giving it that 59.4.
Is that what a plus is? A 0.4?
And it's just, if you get a 0.5, it's a D. I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, right. That's for the nice teachers. I don't round up. My kids earn what they get. I don't round.
Yeah, I never understood that. Taking, like, if you got like 6 out of 10, but they give you like a 69 or something like that, you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Just give them the 60. They got a 60. You know what I mean?
So let's talk some wrestling news. Let's start with what I'm assuming you want to talk about. We just got done talking about the Shield. Apparently, the Shield is recruiting everyone, Garrett, because Triple H is a Shield member.
Yes, that's what I was referencing. I don't know the details. I think it was in a live event.
It's just probably something for the house show, to be honest.
I hope so.
They're not going to play it on TV.
Because Roman's sick, and as many big superstars on that level that they can put in there. I wouldn't be surprised if the Undertaker showed up in the Shield.
Charlie, I'll ask you. What do you think about Raw's 25th anniversary? It's confirmed, which will be on January 22nd, 2018. The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, and Kevin Nash are confirmed to be on the 25th anniversary.
Coming out as Mark Calloway? He might be. Is he going to come out as Mark Calloway? That may be the time when they confirm that he's retired. If he comes out as Mark Calloway and not the Undertaker,
they'll hit that music one more time.
He'll be the Undertaker. Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I mean, they're doing it from 2 separate arenas. It's, you know what I saw? The first thing I noticed, I know this is me just being a little nitpicker, but they're doing this is the first Super Show. I don't know if you saw that. It's going to be Raw and SmackDown people. I mean, I see why. It is a big deal. But as soon as they do one Super Show, they're good to do another, you know? And sure enough, they'll do another Super Show right after Mania. That should be...
Survivor Series is the only time where Raw and SmackDown superstars go against each other. except for when AJ Styles fought on the pay-per-view the night before.
Yeah. I mean, it's he said that during that match when Styles was out there with the Shield. It was just kind of embarrassing, but I think it'll be a big show, and hopefully they book it like one. It's playing from 2 separate places at once. That will be interesting to see what happens.
And then talking about AJ Styles, it is confirmed that AJ Styles will have a title match against Jinder Mahal next week on SmackDown. Garrett, do we get Styles winning the title and facing Brock?
If they do that, they better let AJ make Brock do something other than suplexes, because AJ Styles is 40 years old, and if he gets German like 50 times, now granted, if anybody's going to bounce back, it's going to be AJ. But AJ, John Cena, he is not. When he gets injured, he's injured. You know what I mean?
Right. About the 25th anniversary, Jinder says it's going to be like an old school Raw. Yep. Buck says they need to have JR and Jerry Lawler announce the 25th anniversary. I think they will try to get JR, but they got to pay New Japan now because JR has an exclusive contract with them.
He does English commentary for them now, doesn't he?
Yep. So, but they could get
Great
Jerry
move
Lawler.
by New Japan, if I have to say. I mean,
I'll tell you what, I think Booker T's trying to get fired.
Oh, absolutely, dude. The guy he turns heel and face more than Kane in the Big Show.
I will say, I'm liking him on commentary, though.
Oh, yeah, he's entertaining as hell, but it's not what he's supposed to be saying, and you know
Him
it.
and Corey staring at each other like, what the hell are you talking about? I always find that, I don't know. They got me the other night. He ripped off his glass.
Backstage fight. That's going to be on Jericho's podcast. That's going to be the next backstage fight he has to interview Booker T for, is Booker T versus Corey Graves.
I watched Chris Jericho on Hot Ones, and he
I did too.
He's talking about backstage fights.
What is Hot Ones?
It's basically a talk show. The guy hosts it and asks questions, and then they eat really hot wings.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I'll have to look into that.
So he asked the really like controversial questions after the guys eat like the insane wings that like their mouth is burning so they can't even function. And then he asks them like, oh, who's the biggest dick in Hollywood? And usually they just don't care at that point because they're eating really hot wings. So like, this guy, and he'll just say it. But then last bit of news, over under 3 months with Leo Rush in the company, Charlie.
Leo Rush will be fine.
I
say long over.
If they don't let him be a heel, they are missing out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the crowd reaction is going to be like.
Oh, they're going to boo him out of the building.
What was it again that he said? I forget.
So Leo Rush. So Emma, when Emma.
Yeah, okay, I remember now. Yeah. Real
Emma,
disrespectful.
Darren Young, Summer Rae all got released, right? And then.
I know. I remember now.
I know. I'm explaining for the viewers, Garrett. Jeez.
They should know.
All right, go ahead. I'm out.
No. Wow. He's gone.
But yeah.
If he's gone, he's gone. It's fine. All right. He's back. All right. I thought you were gonna really do it. I would have sold it, dude.
I was close.
No, you should have just. Even if you weren't close, you should have just sold it. That would have been perfect. Great way to end the show. Wow, he's gone now.
All right. And with that note, good show. 8:02. We're right on time. Thanks for checking it out, guys. Junior, Bucks fan, Jace, everyone. Appreciate it. And yeah, JR did call a couple things. And I think it's because he has like some type of certain contract with the company. But I'm not 100% sure,
Well, since you wanted to explain it for the viewers, let's just do that since he's gone now. Basically, what was something, I don't remember the exact words, but he basically disrespected them after they got released and saying like, oh, you should be able to, like, he said something to the effect of, you should be more vigilant, essentially. Like, you should have been watching your back to make sure if you'd have been doing better.
No, he literally tweeted and said, I guess that's what happens when you're not ready for Asuka. Taken way out of hand. It was a dumb but I don't think
but that's what the implication is, like, oh, you're just not good enough. You should have been good enough.
It was more like a play up to Asuka, I thought.
Well, I think that was the guys I think he took the storyline on Twitter too seriously.
Yeah.
Because think about it, like, I don't know.
But yeah, guys, that's it for us. We will
Later.
catch you soon.